All right. Okay. Other questions that have come up. And know that if you've got the InDesign 22 version, I don't think there's going to be that much of a difference from what you're seeing on my screen. I will update it. I just didn't want to do it before class here.
I guess on that topic, is there ever like a reason to sort of like hold off on updating for a little bit? Or like, should we just do it whenever it's there, you think, like in your experience?
I would say usually 90% of the time it's fine. At times I've seen stuff like there was some notice about the new Apple operating system. There was something that was buggy. So it said people were saying hold off on it because there was some kind of just something weird that was happening. And I didn't even remember what it was, but it was enough for me to go, okay, let me just kind of wait a couple weeks before I do it. InDesign and Photoshop and stuff, I really haven't seen too much about it. But if you're, Twitter, that kind of thing, you can kind of, you could just do a quick Twitter search, new Photoshop or something like that. And if there's problems, people will be pretty vocal about it, and it'll pop up pretty quickly. And so I wouldn't be hesitant about updating. I usually do it pretty soon after. The only thing I look at is like, hey, am I doing it in the middle of class type of thing, where you guys have one version and I have another version. But with you guys having a Creative Cloud now, it shouldn't matter. I know it's when I we used to be using computers at school, they would only update them like once a semester. So I had to keep the old version going because that's what you guys were all using on the desktops at school. So yeah, I don't think it would be a big difference. And if you look at what they're, they kind of tell you what's going on here. And they even had, I was watching, I didn't finish. I remember telling you guys about Terry White. And he did the new thing on the Photoshop. He did one on what looks like Lightroom. So I started watching this the other night and I didn't get done through. You can see I only got a couple minutes into it. But he's kind of taking you through some of the new items that are in the new Photoshop. And he works for Adobe. So he's, got access to it, and he kind of explains it very well as to, what's going on, what's new in Lightroom. And I'm sure if he hasn't already, he will do one on what's new in InDesign and etc. Editing, Photoshop, Lightroom tips. He'll do that. So you can again Google online through, or go look at YouTube for them, because I mean, I'd like what's new. When I open Photoshop up, I'm like, I don't know, maybe there's something new here, but sometimes it's so subtle that you don't get it. And the one thing I was seeing with the Photoshop is, let me open up a photo. One of the new features, I know it's new when it's new and improved, at least, because I didn't even cover it with you guys. But I'll show you now real quick. You guys are starting to bring that stuff up. Let me open this one up. So there's this new content selection tool. So it's called Object Selection Tool. So it's been in there. I think it was in the last version, but it really wasn't working. But now it's working. So if I click that, and what it's doing right now, you can see up here, there's some stuff going on. It's analyzing my picture. And when it's done here in a second, it's going to select these items and these objects so I can cut, paste, mask, do whatever I want to them. So it's basically making a clipping path. And if I zoom over, you can see it kind of grays out those objects. So it's automatically, it's not always perfect, but it's picking up these objects, which is kind of nuts. that you used to have to draw these things in, but now I can simply select it. And it's picked his beanie. I can now make a new layer, right? And I can literally just copy and paste it. Select that layer, copy and paste. So now I have the beanie in that new layer. And then I could do stuff like come back in and do a color change on it. Let me just do black, so it's going to be kind of weird. Just do colorize. So now it changes hat to green. Okay, so it automatically selected it. I didn't have to go through and clip it out or, you know, use the pen tool to trace it. So it's really getting good at selecting of items. And so that, again, that's something you'll want to kind of work with down the line. It's going to make your life so much easier. And again, this is not perfect here, but you know, stuff like this spaceship here and in this rocket. But this album, and again, you can take things off, excuse me, by holding the you can. I'm trying to think what are the keyboard shortcuts for pulling things off of this. So I'm selecting it, and then I'm selecting the option, and it will take things away. So I'm just trying to be able to select out a certain area. There's a way to do it. It's just a little bit tricky with this. It's selecting it all at once. But it's basically building up and taking layers and selecting them out, which is honestly, guys, I mean, you guys are kind of new to this, so you don't get it, but you would spend, I mean, hours just kind of finding paths and clipping things out so you could work with them. And you know, it just took a lot of time and a lot of energy to do that. But with this new tool, again, you can see, look, I didn't even click it, but it already updated it and it picked out the iceberg. Okay. Now, again, it's not perfect because there's something else going on there, but it's not too bad here. Okay. And then you can, at that point, copy. You can make it a mask. You can do whatever you need to. Okay. So Photoshop's getting easier per se. And when I mean easier, it like you say, you can see it's selecting an object, which used to be, you would have to go through and trace it to get there, or select the backgrounds and delete them and all those kind of things. So it's much faster. But the cool thing, and it's easier also, but the nice thing is it lets you be creative more, right? So we can concentrate more on the creativity and a little bit less on some of the quote practicality of things, like, you know, how does this work? Or how do I do that? Or how do I clip this thing out? Because it's doing that kind of stuff for you, it's pretty easy. And you can see up here, they're giving you options for select the mask or just to select the subject, those type of things. So it's a good thing. Okay. Like I said, it's going to only get better as we continue to evolve with these programs. And like I said, they're really, really good. Okay. So, and I would recommend, you know, kind of work with them. So even if you're not, I don't know, doing a project or working with a client or something like that where you need Photoshop, open it up every couple of weeks just to do something, even if it's just to edit a photo that you've taken, you know, on your iPhone, drop it into your computer, just to kind of keep up with it, so you don't forget everything altogether. And then it just slows you down as you do get work to continue on. All right, let's close this out. questions on any of that? And like I said, you get the updates here. This is under the Creative Cloud. You know, click them as you need to. And some things aren't going to really do a huge thing. Like After Effects, I haven't even used it in a long time. So, but it will tell you if there's something that needs updating, and it tells you what's loaded onto your computer. And I think you can do it automatically. Check, but I just manually update when I need to. You know what this stuff is. Manage files. Oh, I guess I can share stuff through the iCloud with you guys. All right. Let's close that. All right, other questions as we're getting going here. All right. So let's go through a little more InDesign today. Keep you guys going with that. All right. So I'm actually going to do something here. We're gonna do it as a group here, just a demo. So I'm going to actually do the 2 sheets for the remaining 2 projects, and you'll know what they are. I'm going to quickly just kind of build out a text box here, and I'm going to put the poster assignment. All right, so we'll do it now because I keep saying I'm going to do it and I never get to it. So we'll use it as a demo here in Photoshop. All right. Now, again, part of this is kind of organizing what you want to do and building up text boxes to do such. So right now, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to make this a big title, right? And I'm going to just kind of select the typeface. I'm not going to go with I always like meta. Meta, I like the word meta, right? The font is really beautiful, but then they had to name the damn Facebook company after it. But I like this. It's kind of a really pretty font. The G's in particular, you can see that are really kind of beautiful. And again, I want you guys to start to think about these. Think about the letters and the forms and how they relate to each other. That's going to make you a better artist, designer, because you're looking at that kind of stuff. And it's going to improve the quality of your work. So I made one text box here, and I'm going to do with some other boxes here. But what this does is also gives me control. So if I'm just going to resize this just to make it easy, but I can move it, right? I can center, I could go left. I could put it anywhere I want. So I'd like to have some flexibility when I'm building things up. Now, you guys always wonder about due dates. And again, that's there. Second here. I'm trying to get the type to see if it does it. Gonna work in this new version. No, it's not. All right, forget about that. Get rid of this panel. All right, so due dates, you're always concerned about that. I'm going to go back to meta. So on the file, it will give you basically the top last 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are like the last 10 typefaces you've selected and used. So they kind of come up here as a default, which helps out. And we're going to make that a little bit bigger there. And we'll make it bold. And I guess I typed it out all caps, did I? Okay. And then let's figure out a date. You guys will know it as I figure it out. That was like the 1st of December. We'll do that December 1st. Okay. And again, I'm just resizing because I like to do it this way. And then I can move this around. And I can adjust the spacing or the leading between lines even, right? So I like being able to have that control without having to build it all into one text box. Okay. I could have did a return after assignment and do due date and all that, but I don't know, I just like the control sometimes of it. Okay. And then we have this, and I'm going to click at the meta again. Meta, normal. Okay, so we're going to be designing a poster for someplace you would like to go to. Include a your logo along with the call to action. So remember, we get that red square with that little red cross inside. That means there's some text that's hidden. Okay. So in this case, I reduced my text box, the viewing area, and I got that. So when I started typing again, it went below. Okay. So if you get that, that's where you have to either open the box up, okay, resize the box, or have it continue to another column or another page where you have a text box. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind when you see that. That's the computer telling you, and you're going to see down here an error popped up. So right here it's saying an error. Okay, that means there's a problem. Pre-flight panel, that's going to show me overset text is in my here. And if I click that frame, it will take me to it. I'm already there. So let me just go here. If I click it, you can see it highlighted it. And I got this little yellow box that's just showing me where that error is. Okay, so to fix it, again, you just kind of increase that box. All right, and then it's going to come up as we're complete, no errors going on. Okay, so that's what you want. So these are ways of checking your files to see if you have any problems. It will also do things like you don't have a picture, or you put in a picture and it's not linked or embedded. And I'll go through that real quick today with you with how to manage photographs that come into InDesign. Okay. Because again, potentially you could have hundreds of photographs that you're bringing into a document. Okay. And then we're going to have here, move this up a little bit. Okay, so I made a spelling error, and I did that on purpose. Okay, there is a spell check in here. Okay, so it's under edit and spelling, and there is a dynamic spelling. You could have it turned on. There's autocorrect. I usually have these, or at least the autocorrect turned off, because sometimes when you get into technical words, it gets a little weird, and it'll fix it, and it'll fix it to what the computer thinks it should be. And you guys all seen this with texting and stuff like that, but it's wrong. Meaning it's the wrong word, or it's the wrong way of using that word. And because it checked it, or because it auto-corrected, it won't show up when you do a spell check because it's already been corrected. Okay, so it kind of shows up as like, oh, that was right. So I just kind of do a check spelling. It will go through the whole document, and here it comes up. with your options. Okay, so it's like fibula, bell, or final. So I know final is it. I'm going to select it and I'm going to just hit change. Okay, now a new designs is all one word. It's not getting us a .com, so in this case, I'm going to skip it. And then I'm going to hit start, and it's going to start in the beginning. So it's going to go back up through and all these boxes here. So it will check the whole document, not just the text box that you've started using. Now, if you get things like, like just a new designs and I use it 50 times in a document, you're going to get tired of saying it's okay. And that's where you can start to add things to a dictionary, right? You can make a user dictionary and you can start to add things to it. Okay, so here it is. I could add that to my dictionary. And again, that's one of those kind of like presets that will travel with InDesign. So when you open up the new version of InDesign, this will have already copied over and propagated into your new version. So it doesn't pick up these words. Because again, there's places and people names and stuff like that that, are just kind of different. And you want to kind of add those to the dictionary so it knows that that is right and correct. Okay, and of course you can add dictionaries to this if you have certain foreign language dictionaries and such that can be added also to it. Okay, I don't have it added because I'm not using it too much, that I can't put skip. Okay, so skip, and when you start coming back, we're all done. Just hit done and we're gone. Okay, but guys, spell check. Real important. Nothing worse than getting the document, especially something you send a resume, cover letter, all those kind of things, and you've got something misspelled. The thought process is, if you can't get your resume perfect, how can I expect you to get whatever perfect while you're working for me, right? So, the resume, no real excuses there. So there, you got to really minimize the spelling problem. Trust me, I'm not a speller, and but you got to spell check, okay, and you got to be able to do that. And I said most times it's just hit the button that says spell, right, and let it check for you, and then you can verify if it's correct or not correct when it selects it. Okay, there's also programs out there called, like I use like Grammarly. I don't know if you guys have used that, but you can have it built into some of the apps. I don't think there's an add-in for InDesign yet, but you can copy this and you can put it up on their website, and it will spell check it and also do a grammar check on it. Because again, that's something we're all kind of not. Nobody's as good as we are. If we were that good, we'd be English majors. But you can literally just copy your text. In this particular case, drop it in to Grammarly. It'll go through, it'll give you suggestions that it thinks. And I'm using the free version. There is a kind of a paid version, but I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that right now. Obviously, if you find you need it and it's worth the upgrade to the paid subscription version, say go for it. But you can also add it into I think I have it on my Safari. So if I'm typing in something in Safari, it'll give me a red underline where maybe it's spelled wrong, or there's a kind of an error for grammar. It kind of catches those things when you're working with applications online. So Grammarly or something such as that. And then definitely edit, spelling, okay. And down here, check spelling. Okay, you got to do it. So looking down here for the errors, okay, this is the pre-flight. It's doing this now automatically. This used to be a separate program that we would run with InDesign. It's now been built in, but it'll give you a problem if there's, like I said, pictures or over text or something like that. So let's put in a picture, right? So I can just kind of do that. So I'm gonna draw a box. Remember, we have the boxes with the X or no X. I like to use the X's for when I'm dealing with photos, so I know where they're going to go. And I can give it a stroke if I want to. I usually don't do a fill, but I might. In this case, I'm going to just give it a black stroke. And just give it a 2-point stroke. Command D. Okay. For place. Okay. And then I'm going to, I know I saved that travel poster. Let me just find that. Seattle poster copy. Boom. So now it's been dropped in. It's much larger than this. So I'm going to fit the content proportionally. So it fit it in there. And it's everything is the size. Now I can see that my box is a little big. So I'm just going to kind of scale that in. Just to give it right. And then we got to complete the assignment in Illustrator. Okay, submit a final. I'm going to make that a PDF. Clarify that. Wow. Okay. All right, is that making sense?
Yeah.
All right. So what I want to do is I'm just going to kind of over here just do some little quick call outs. I'm just going to do examples of there's a title, and I'm going to make that, we'll keep it consistent with the meta, like that a little bit. Again, I'm just manually doing it, upping my size, and I can, make it the title. And then I'm going to draw an arrow. I'm just going to do kind of some call outs. And what happened there? Okay, so I've got that, and I've got my stroke, and I want to end. Well, I don't know what. Let me see. Okay, so that was right. So I'm drawing an arrow, and you can see here that I can do things to my arrows, or my line in this case. How does it end, or what does it start with? Okay, so I'm ending with nothing, and I'm going to say it starts with the arrow, and I'm going to give it the rounded look, because I like that one better. And we're going to enlarge that to 2 points. Okay, so now we've got the title called out, and then I'm going to make my life easy, right? I'm going to select those 2 items, hold down the option, and just drag down. Okay, and then I'm going to double click on that and call this one image. And I'm getting selecting, holding the shift key, grabbing the option. And we're going to come down here to this, enlarge it down. And this is the call to action. Slash travel logo. And again, these are just for representation. You can obviously put these where you want. This is your design. Okay. And that's what you're going to turn in. Right? You're going to save this as a PDF and send it to me. So I'm going to put poster assignment, and I'm just going to put next to that Monday, Wednesday. So I know, and you know, save it. We are fall 21. Dude, when you get older, you're gonna be like me. What the heck year is it? You just get, I think somebody says, well, how old are you? I said, after 21, you don't care. You don't even keep track anymore. Everybody wants to get 21. They can kind of do, and go get a beer, whatever you want to do. All right, but after 21, you just kind of forget. So after 21, we don't care. I'm going to keep the document as is. Again, I made this as an InDesign document, INDD. Now I'm going to export this as a PDF. So these are kind of presets that you can kind of set. They're already preset, or you can just hit export and it'll bring those up too. So either one of these is going to do it. This is basically telling it what to do right away. And this one, you're going to select it and then you're going to pick the drop down as you go. So we're going to do that here. Let's say print. So these are the other versions you can do. You can do it as a PNG, a JPEG, HTML, EPUBs, publications, electronic publications, EPS, encapsulated PostScript, probably wouldn't, but you could. And then just kind of regular PDF or PDF interactive. So we're going to do print, PDF, and then we got that file size here, high quality, that we saw under the other one. So I'm just going to do smallest file size, and we've got it up to version 8 or 9. Boom, boom, that looks good. Compression is fine. So really what this is doing is, if I have a high resolution picture, it's going to downsize it. So if I have a color picture above 150 pixels, it's going to bring it down to 100. Okay, because you can see your image quality is low. Okay, if I do that, it's going to do a better quality with the image. If I didn't say it for smallest file size, it would keep the resolution up on the picture. So it's kind of doing some stuff behind the scenes to make a smaller file size, which is perfectly fine for what we're doing here. An export. Okay. And it should have put it into that folder for the class. So let me just see if it's in there. That stuff. Fullerton, fall, poster project. There's the IND. And then here is the one that I will be uploading to everybody. You know what? Can I drag it here? Let me just see. I'm going to get high tech here, guys. I'm going to put it up on the website too, but you should be able to click and download that. It's 142K, so it's pretty small. So that should work. All right. And then we're done. Again, remember, if we want to check it without the boxes, okay, go over here to preview. And we're going to get that, how it's going to look on the page without all those boxes. And they're kind of confusing and messing with your work. Oftentimes that, you know, we're so used to seeing things with those lines, but if you want to see it without, it's a good thing to do. Okay. So normal, again, we have the borders and the boxes built in. Go to preview here and or view here. Normal, preview, lead and select. Like I said, don't worry about that right now. Okay. And then the high quality for your display, that's the screen performance, but that's also the pictures that are on your screen. Okay, so it'll keep those nice and tight with that. Questions? So while I'm here, this is the beauty of kind of, I don't know, I love InDesign because of that. We got the other class. They're not as good as you guys. Don't tell them though. Okay.
I'm trying to download the thing. It doesn't seem to be.
They're not working?
Yeah, not right now at least.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put it up on the website. So if it's not working through this chat thing, don't sweat. I'm going to get it right up to you guys.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'll do that. So let me see if it's even available now. Still in here. Social media. I'm looking to see. Go back. Did they get rid of? Hold on a second. Now I'm really getting confused. Batteries jumping out on me. Collapse. Okay, so they do have Dreamweaver still. All right, so you might be able to find. They're not showing it here because they're not using it anymore. But it's a program called Muse, and it was designed really for kind of I don't know, for graphic designers to make websites. We didn't have to get into Dreamweaver, which is more coding, and there's some stuff going on. Oh, there is. So there's Muse. So if you can find Muse, I'm going to show you what this does. They're not updating it anymore. So what we have is what we have. Package is coming down. So they're not supporting it anymore, but they still have it and it still works. And it's designed for web pages. So this is how I do the web pages for the class. So this is the website that we have. And I'm going to just double click on our page for the Monday class here. And I'm just going to scroll down, and I have to upload some, oops. 1 second here. I have to still upload YouTube from last week. It is up on YouTube now. I just have to copy the code over. 1 second, we get to the bottom here. All right, so I'll do this real quick. We've got that option, click and hold. So basically what you can do is you kind of put boxes in, and then you can kind of modify them really quick. And it's really, really sweet because if you notice what I'm doing, I'm just kind of copying and dragging. There is no coding going on, but there is code happening. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in the background. So we had class on you have 3 and 8. I guess, yeah. I'm really behind. Don't you guys yell at me. You're the professor. There you go. Yeah, I got 3. Oops. I get in my own little worlds here sometimes. 3, 8. 9. So as you can see, I'm kind of clicking and dragging. And if you guys want me to go through a day of Muse, just tell me, download it and get it up on your computer so you can do it. And it makes sense to you. And I can be more than willing to, I'm going to put today's in as a mock-up just so we know it's going to be there. More than willing to kind of go through that with you. The downside is they're going to be getting rid of this program soon, meaning it's still there and they're still doing it, but they're not updating it and revising it. So if there's problems or things don't work in browsers as they keep updating, it's not going to be there. And you can literally just kind of type in okay. So in this case, I want to put in the project for the poster project. And you can see, you can kind of select your text up here and it gets some basic web fonts. You can enlarge things just with a couple clicks. You can change color. I'll give it a nice big yellow. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to make this an active link. Okay. So again, you don't have to code. It's kind of nice. So I'm just going to go down here. I can just kind of link to it. So I can link to a file. And we go to the class. And we are the fall. And we have the poster project. Monday, Wednesday, Okay, and it's basically linked up now. Now I just need to update these websites here. So I know I've updated my videos here. So it looks like I got to start with the 8th. Is that right? 3rd. Let's see if I can get this working here. Okay, so I have to click the video. And then you're just going to copy the code. And then I just put that code in here. The question? Look at that. I'm playing in the background. Do I have any problems with you? Sound like every day, don't I? Look, I even looked this in. Crazy. Oops. So 9, we have to get some 10th. You guys are gonna be up to date here soon. So questions as I'm doing this. Like I said, it's very, very cool. Muse, I'm very, you know, it's like the one thing Adobe has done that disappointed me is them getting rid of, we'll say getting rid of Muse, because it's such a really cool little program to use. It makes your life easy. And again, you can get as creative as you want with the web page. Is that what it is? Oh, the 8th. Did I not do that right? Literally, if you guys ever get into coding, anybody do coding websites with Dreamweaver? No, no. It gets a little nuts. Okay, I'm not, and again, I'm not a coder. I'm a designer. Okay, so I don't typically do that kind of stuff. So we need the 10th. I think we'll be up to date. Okay, so I think we're good. This is 15. That's today, which I'm going to leave blank. It's going to show us the first, but we'll put that in, the new one in there once I get it. We've got that. Save it. Right, you can see it's so nice and easy to use. And then it's just upload. So FTP is the file transfer protocol. So if anybody says FTP stuff, it's basically a way for your computer to talk to another computer. So you're transferring files. Now this is a way we used to, we'll kind of say it's pre Dropbox. So if I want to send you guys something really big, a big file, like a couple like megs or 20, 30 megs or more, I could do it through a file transfer protocol, FTP. I still can, but now we have things like Dropbox and stuff to make it easier. But this is going to upload it. So I'm just going to click OK. It says there's some things that were messed up, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. It's connecting to the server. So my computer is now talking to the computer that hosts the website. Okay, your website is always typically on somebody else's computer. That's always up and running. We'll see if it's going to connect. I only modify files. I don't need to send everything. I'm going to say, hey, just do the ones that I've changed, which is really this page. Click OK. And all the passwords and all that kind of stuff are saved already. So that saves you a lot of time. And God knows if you're like me, you have too many passwords. And you're like, whoops, I'm like, dude, I don't know my passwords. If you're like me, you have a list somewhere. Try to keep it secret, but you got a list. Because it's super easy. So checking things, it's being slow right now because we're on Zoom and stuff. And then it's going to upload it. It's going through that right now, and I'm going to get a little message saying it's been uploaded. You want to go there or not? Okay. So don't think of InDesign. Think of it as this program that is built up of modules, meaning the modules are text boxes, picture boxes, etc., that you can start to use. And you can move things around as such. Let me just move this out of the way as it loads. So when I click on this picture here, you can see in the corner there's like a little chain, which tells me that this document or this thing is linked. Okay. If I come back over here to my links panel, it says that it's linked. And it actually tells me it's on my hard drive on the desktop. It's called Seattle Poster Copy. If I can do two things with photos. I can select that picture and go to embed the link, which means it will embed the picture as part of my InDesign file. That increases my InDesign file, but it kind of keeps it there. So it's not a bad thing to do necessarily. I'll tell you the downside of it in a second. Secondly, I can kind of keep it linked as I have it now, and then put all my files into one folder. So I can kind of tell the computer or tell InDesign to collect all my pictures and all my stuff into a folder. And I'll show you that in a second. The advantages of not embedding are if I go back to this poster and change it, it will tell the computer will see, oh, you've made a change to this poster. Do you want to update it? Okay. And it will give you that warning notice. So then you can come back in here and just say, yes, update. And it will just keep updating as you change. Okay. If I link it or embed the link, it will be a part of the file. And if I make a change to it, it doesn't know that. Okay. It won't know that. So down here, we'll see, okay. We'll just view the site. Get this out. We'll see. It might not even enlarge or do. Yeah, whatever. Websites are being slow. So embedding will make it a part of the document, but the problem is if you update that document, the computer or the file here won't know that it's been updated. You'll have to manually go through and update it yourself. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. You're going to run into both things where files are linked and files aren't. Now, the problem with the linked is if I move that file to someplace else, it's going to come up and go, it's been moved. So let me find that file. It's called Seattle, and I'll show you what kind of error message you get. Seattle poster. I'm going to pull it up and put it into our Fullerton class file. We are fall 21. I'm going to come back to InDesign here. Whoa, I got a question mark because now it's going, where's the picture? Okay, we are linked to that picture and it wants to know where it is. Now, if I hit print, it will print it because it's kind of built into the cache and such, but I wouldn't want to use this if I'm going to commercially print, 10,000 of them at a big commercial $1 million printer, because it's going to give me error message and they won't print it. So I can literally kind of come in here and double click. I'm going to relink it, right click, and it's going to tell me where is it. And I've already been here recently, so it took me back there. And now I'm going to link it. And now it's updated it. Okay. And likewise, if I was to come back in here and open this file up, I'm going to just open it up real quick in Illustrator. Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about that. And how's that working there? And I'm going to pick a new color. Oops, did that work? Hold on, let me look at my layers here. What did it do? Oh, it got weird because it was an InDesign file. I mean, an Illustrator file here. But I can, let me see if I can change. Yeah, I did. So I'm going to change that to red. Okay, that did work. I'm going to save it. So now it's changed. I'm going to close it out. I'm going to come back to InDesign and see, look, I got a little warning here. Okay, modify, double click to update. So literally I have to just double click and now it updated the file to the new version. Does that make sense? So if I had embedded it, okay, click the link embed, okay, down here, embed link, it would not have given me that error message that you changed the file, you want to update it. Okay, so you can work either way, but just know if you're doing a lot of back and forth and updating things, you're probably going to use the links. Okay, and what you want to do is make sure you keep everything in one central location. So with InDesign, we're going to do what we call package. Okay, so let's say we're good, and I'm going to send this to I don't know, the admin person at school, and they're going to open it up and print it out and make 1,000 copies because that's what I want. So I'm going to hit package, and what this is going to do is put everything together. Meaning it's going to put the InDesign file together. It's going to go through the fonts that I've used. Okay, and select those. It's going to select the picture that I've used. The color thing's not that big a deal. We didn't do anything there. We really didn't change the printer settings, but it's going to put it all together. So I'm going to hit package. We have to save. Okay, save. Now I'm going to tell me what, and once I'm going to put the name of the file in the folder. Copy what? Copy the links. Copy the fonts. It's going to do a digital markup language. Doesn't big matter. Just let them do that. It also will include a PDF, and I can select what size PDF I want. So if I'm going to go to a press computer or a digital press or a press at a printer shop, I'm going to hit press quality. Okay, and then I'm going to hit save folder package. And it's putting everything together in one place. So when I come back over here, here is that folder, and I've got the IMD, which I don't really care about. I've got the INDD, which is the file itself. I've got the full press quality PDF that was made. I got the link to the poster, okay, which they would need to print. And then I have my fonts that I use, okay. So it added those fonts list in here so that printer can download those and be able to work with those, okay, for when they need to work. Okay. So it packaged everything together. So if you're working with pictures and you got 50 pictures, if you hit package, it's going to put them all into one place. Okay. So they don't have to all be in the same place initially. Okay. But eventually you want to get them there, and that's where this links comes in. And then you can, if you need to, you can link everything to that folder. Just so you know, the computer is pretty smart. So if I had 15 pictures and it said, hey, the links need to be needs to be relinked because I moved stuff. Once I tell it the one is there, it's going to automatically see, oh, the other 14 are there also. And it says, do you want to update the others? And you'll click yes, and it'll automatically update it. Okay, so InDesign's pretty smart that way. You used to have to manually do this. It used to be I would sit here with paper, write down what are the pictures I'm using, and then I would write down all the fonts that I'm using, and I would manually have to copy things over into a folder. But now it's gotten smarter with this quote package kind of thing. So it does make things a lot easier when it comes to InDesign. Okay, questions? Again, we're just kind of, we're working in, we're building in a couple new things at a time. Not going to overdo it. Does this make sense to everybody? This is really the basic 101 of InDesign, what we did today. Kind of putting in some text boxes, putting in a picture or two, aligning, moving, changing typefaces, all that.
Yeah, I'd say it makes sense.
Okay. Anybody having problems? Anything confusing?
Hmm.
It's making sense so far.
Okay. All right. Well, again, I want you to, again, practice this. Okay. We now have our specs for the travel poster. We know this is not due until December 2nd. You know, and I think most people have done the logos. Some people sent me like two or three versions. Pick the one you like the best. Okay. It's no problem with that. And then start the designing. Okay. Like I said, we've got some time. We do have a holiday coming in there with Thanksgiving, so I don't want to overburden you during the Thanksgiving time. So, you know, this shouldn't take you too long to get done. So start working on, again, start working with InDesign. I will get the specs for that written up really soon, maybe even today. Okay, it's going to be a magazine with a cover and then a couple, like 2 articles inside. And the articles will be a couple pages each. And it won't be anything that you can't handle quickly. You know, you're just going to be gathering text off of the internet, and then you're going to be pulling some pictures together with that. Okay, so that's coming, and that'll be due the last day of class. So we have time for that. I think the last day is the 8th, if I recall. All right. Questions? Anybody need me to look at anything or share anything today?
So InDesign is the last thing we're working on, right?
Yes, this is it. Yeah, so we did Photoshop, we did Illustrator, and we're working in InDesign now. So the 3 biggies
All
for
right.
us.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything? All right, guys. Like I said, work up InDesign as you start to get familiar with it. We'll continue on with that a little bit. We'll do a demo on the final project for the magazine. That'll go pretty, I think you'll see it's pretty easy. We may even start that on Wednesday, since there's no major InDesign questions. And I'll do my work of getting you the spec sheet for the last project and also getting everything graded. But and everybody's doing fine. I don't really foresee any issues here. Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. Nothing else. Have a great day. We'll chat on Wednesday.
All right. See you
Gonna
then.
cool off, so that'll be a nice day. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
See ya.
you.
Bye.
Stay.
Yes.